Hello everyone, long time. So today I wanted to talk about something it might be a little bit controversial, only because it's not something that's commonly spoken about. And it has to do with cleanings, routine cleanings, prophylaxis, prophies, the ones that the doctors, insurance companies tell you that you should get every 6 months. If you're a person that has to get period maintenance for gum problems, they recommend it every 3 months. As opposed to every 6 months like everybody else, which means that you have to do it more frequently. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I've spoken to dentists, I've been thinking about it very often, that cleanings should be done more frequently. I feel that 6 months is way too long. The reason why is because if you think about it, you have to clean your teeth every day. And there's 365 days in a year, 366 every 4 years, with leap years. And for you to get a professional cleaning 2 times out of 365 days it's a bit ridiculous. And now, obviously, this doesn't apply to the outside of the norm. Realistically speaking, most people don't brush their teeth more than once a day, some never. And then there are the small percentages that actually do it 3 times a day, that they use floss, mouthwash, the whole 9. Most of them don't, but very few use floss, and they don't do it correctly, which leads to plaque buildup. And that's why it's also good to get a cleaning every 6 months to remove that extra plaque buildup. But here's the thing. In an ideal world, it would be good to, if people followed the guidelines to prevent themselves from getting cavities, gum disease, and stuff like that, it would be great. 6 months would not be an issue. The matter is that that's not true. Now, when talking to dentists about why cleanings were done and placed every 6 months, as opposed to more frequent, the vast majority of the ones that they told me was that it was just for routine checkups, but more than anything for cost. I found it weird that they put cost, because I started comparing it to other things that people do routinely, things that we all do routinely, going to the gym, buying coffee, haircuts, salons, manicures, pedicures, makeup, so on and so forth. Now, getting cleanings every 6 months was something that's been going on for decades. But I feel that they put putting cost into the mix without comparing it to other things, seemed like a misjudgment or a bad calculation. And so I want to make this video as to why you should get a cleaning more than 2 times a year or every 6 months. I personally feel, and I spoke to dentists also, what if instead of doing it twice a year, it was done every month, or as often as you get a haircut? Because, to say the truth, no one likes bad breath, or on a medical level, halitosis. It's horrible. It makes you self-conscious, and the average cleaning is no more than $100. So if you were to spend $100 a month, you're still paying less than if you were to get a haircut. Because most people get haircuts. A lot of people get haircuts once every week. Some people get it once every 2 weeks. Some people get it once a month. Everybody's different. So I know me, for example, I get haircuts like once a month, sometimes every 3 weeks. And so if you compare that to getting a cleaning every 1 or 2 months, you're not spending as much money. The average cleaning can be, depending on where you go, but it can be anywhere between, I've seen places as cheap as $60 to places as expensive as $150, and even $200. But it's, obviously those are depending on where you're going. So, New York is obviously going to be more expensive than in places like Missouri or Florida or California. The prices vary depending on where you live. So the cost is relative to the location where you live in. And so why do I feel that it should be more often? Well, one, if you really bring it down and think about it, you're talking about getting a cleaning every 30 days. There's 30 days where you have your routine. Obviously, if you're a person that you're meticulous with your mouth, then sure, do it every 6 months. But if you're not, and you know who you are, you should definitely get them once a month, or even more frequent, because there is no limitation to how often you can get a cleaning. It doesn't harm your gums. Dentists are professional with mouth, so they know that they're not going to harm your teeth. It doesn't do anything to your teeth because they're not removing enamel. They're not doing anything. They're just literally cleaning your teeth. And you're going to prevent so many problems. In addition to that, you're going to catch things a lot faster, and even more than anything, prevent them from happening. Your gums are always going to be healthy. you're going to be less likely of getting periodontal disease. You're also going to be less likely of getting cavities because the plaque buildup that you have in your mouth are going to, it's not going to stay there for a long period of time, like for example 6 months for you to get a cavity. And so in the long run, you're going to be saving a lot of money, a lot of headaches, and honestly, you're also going to prevent the embarrassment of having bad breath or halitosis, and be sure that your mouth is always clean, because we all know that when you get the cleaning, everyone loves the cleaning because they love that clean feeling. So I want to put that I feel that just like how we go to the gym, 3 times, 4 times a week, just how we have our coffee every day, just how we get our haircuts all the time, we prepare our makeups, and in today's day and age, men are getting close to spending about as much as women are in beauty and health and beauty. It's not, before, I would say maybe like 10, 15 years ago, it was something, and prior to that, it was something that was primarily women. When men didn't really partake in that stuff outside of the simple things like getting haircuts. But nowadays, men are getting manicures, pedicures. I sure as hell get them, and I think they're great. Just get the clear and you're good to go. Men are putting makeup. They're taking care of their skin. They're putting more skin products and stuff, so on and so forth. These things didn't exist back then. They do now. So I feel that this should be added into that in terms of a beauty and health, because it is extremely important. It is something that should be done, and it's something that should be done more frequently. It just makes sense. And again, there is no evidence whatsoever to proving that shows any negativity whatsoever in terms of getting your cleanings done more frequently at all. So when you get a haircut and you prepare to go on the weekend to go to the club, or to go to a party, go to a wedding or whatever, a birthday party, or your own birthday party, or your own wedding, or your own party, or your own club party that you set up at the club, get a cleaning. Do the same thing. Schedule your cleaning for Friday. Schedule your cleaning for Saturday. Go get your haircut, get beautied up and stuff, and get your teeth cleaned. That way you go to the club and you know that you don't have bad breath at all. And that, even after you go to the club and stuff, and you had your fun and stuff like that, you go home and you forget to brush your teeth. At least your teeth were cleaner. That if you had done your cleaning in 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago, 4 months ago, 5, and because of that great night, now you have a cavity when you go to the dentist, and then what could have just cost you $60, $150, $200, whatever, now it's going to cost you additional money. And yes, I understand that you have insurance, and your insurance has frequencies and stuff like that. And that's understandable. If you have your insurance, you can use your insurance every 6 months. Or if it allows you to do it more frequent, sure, let it do it more frequent. But again, getting a cleaning is not anything. It's not more expensive than any of the other things that we routinely do. It's not a bank breaking expense. It never was, and it probably never will be. And again, you can find very cost effective locations. One thing that I'm doing in our practice is that we're working on a membership program to get people to pay a lower cost and stuff, and having to go to the dentist and get their cleanings done, and they pay their regular monthly, and they know that it's not something that they have to think about every time they get a cleaning in terms of like, oh my God, I have to have $100, $95, whatever to get this cleaning, and they go and get it done, and they're in and out, plain and simple. So that's my video for today. I think it is very important. I think that it's something you should definitely consider, and I think it's something that you should do. If you feel the same way that I do, then you should definitely contact your dentist, schedule your appointment, and make out a plan. Go every month or every 2 weeks, whatever you feel. Because again, there is no limitation. There is no negative to going frequently. If you want to go every day, that's entirely up to you if you have the money for that. But do it, because you don't lose anything, but you do gain a lot of things. One of them being saving money in the long run by preventing yourself from getting other things, because prevention is key to many problems in the future, and specifically cost. So that's all for today. And as always, flourish and prosper.